She asked on both sides of the neck.
But you can get both sides of the neck.
No. Yeah. I mean, I can get like here for like migraines and
All right.
like.
Is this y'all stuff? Do y'all need this?
What'd you say?
I said 15.
Do y'all need that stuff on the board?
No, hey, I'm still thinking of stuff.
I'm gonna act like I don't know what my assignment
The
is.
5 days,
Don't remember. I'll eat some.
I just don't want like personal information.
I'll take a picture.
I don't know. It's just names like our duties for today. Don't take a picture. I didn't like to watch it with you. Shit. I was gonna take a picture of it. Fuck.
No, it's
Y'all, we on live.
Yeah, we live.
We live, baby.
Just in case. Just
Okay.
All right.
So, I'm doing a spot. It's called wax evals.
All right.
How long is
Ready?
this gonna take?
not really. I was
Okay, no.
Okay.
It's pressed and it's cute. It's
Yeah, we'll be
cute.
done by then. All right, so.
Oh, you look good.
Keep these near and dear. In case I can see something. All right, so. We doing full glam, right? That's what y'all want?
Yes.
All right.
You might wanna go outside.
right.
Going home after this. Selfies. Just take some. Yeah.
All right, so. Y'all have to have no makeup.
No, I mean, everybody should be a little familiar about something, right?
No.
Oh.
That's why she's in that chair. She's such a
All right, so we're gonna start just with
She
skin
should've said
prep.
yes,
The first thing that you want to know is how you start is how you will finish. So if I start with her skin, just her skin, whatever her skin is doing at the current time, it's gonna do when the makeup is done, which means that the makeup will look like that. So a lot of times we think that if we put something over top of the makeup, it's gonna make it better. No, you gotta take care of the skin first, and then you can put the makeup on. If I put makeup on dry skin, the makeup is probably gonna look dry. If I put this makeup on skin that has a lot of texture, it's red and irritated, that's gonna reflect through the makeup. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a cotton round.
So I have a question.
Yep.
So with texture, because when I do my makeup, sometimes in the winter I do get real dry.
Mm-hmm.
So like with texture, that's like dry skin peeling on the forehead. How would you treat that before you put your makeup
You
on?
need to moisturize and let it sit like a mask.
Okay.
So, like, if let's say she had dry skin, I'm not just going to put the moisturizer on and keep it moving. I'm gonna put a heavier layer of moisturizer on and let it sit for like 3 to 5 minutes like a mask,
Okay.
and then I can start. And the reason why is, first things first, as a makeup artist, compartmentalize your industry. Like, you guys are licensed estheticians, I'm a licensed esthetician. But when I go to someone's house to do makeup, and they're paying me $155 to $200 to do makeup, that's what they're paying for. They're not paying for me to be an SD and exfoliate and cleanse and do all of those things. Although I do want to do those things, it's not more in depth. I'm not treating the skin. I'm just doing those things to prep the skin. Does that make sense? So like, this is a cleanser. I am literally only taking a little bit of cleanser on this cotton round because I want to remove debris off of the skin. I want to remove any moisturizers or makeup or anything that she may already have on the skin.
She is your demo.
Does that make sense?
Right.
Let's talk a little bit really quickly about clients who say, oh, I already moisturized and da-da-da-da-da.
Nah, we're gonna put some more moisturizer. That's yourself. Maybe. Remove and replace.
So a client that's like, oh, I already moisturized, I did this, I cleansed my skin. That's great, but I'm gonna do it again. And the reason why I'm gonna do it again is because I want to make sure that the things that I am doing as far as makeup work with the skincare. So let's say they are using is it a clear skin moisturizer? So that has, what's one of the actives in there?
Is it salicylic acid?
Salicylic acid. That's a form of exfoliation. Acidic, like it's an acid, so it's going to help the skin cells kind of exfoliate. Does that make sense? So that may not work well if I put salicylic acid on. It absorbs into the skin from a molecular level, and then I take this beautiful brush and I start to buff. What I end up doing ultimately, thank you. What I end up ultimately doing is doing a physical and chemical exfoliation. Does that make sense? So now we got skin lifting, peeling, all these different things going on, and I'm like, what's happening to the makeup? Now the makeup looks crepey. So it doesn't matter what a client says, I'm still going to properly cleanse their skin. I'm still going to properly make sure that I do what I need to do to make sure that the makeup looks good, because it's my responsibility for the makeup to look good. So I'm going to take that cleanser and I'm just going to kind of press it into the skin, and then in circular motions with my cotton round. And there's a caveat to this. Remember, I just said, you know, they're paying for you to be a makeup artist. The great thing is also, you are still a licensed esthetician. Makeup artists cannot cleanse the face like this. They would have to literally give the client something and say, can you cleanse your face? They are not licensed to do so. So even this right here is a level up from the average makeup artist.
Is that where they say come with a fresh face?
Yep. Now my clients that are elevated and they spend a little extra, they get a mini facial because they're paying for it. So I would literally take that cleanser and stand in front of them and actually manipulate the tissue and cleanse the skin. Now I'm going to remove with toner. I like to remove with toner, one, because it's going to help to restore the pH balance, but it also is going to, you know, toners are meant to remove residual product from the skin, as well as restore the pH balance. And this is just an essential toner, so it's just like daily nutrients in it. And again, these are very gentle products, right? So what that means is there is no actives in this. It's literally meant to do what it's supposed to do.
Not correct.
Cleanse. Right. Not correct, not adjust, not to treat. It does none of those things. All it's going to do is calm, soothe, and cleanse. Same thing with the moisturizer. It's not going to do anything but hydrate, calm, and soothe. The only things that I really have actives in is a serum that I use pre-makeup and an eye cream. But as far as everything else, it's just very general. Now I'm going to take some of that toner and mist it across the face. I am going to take my big ignorant palette and I'm going to start skin prep.
It's like a Picasso plate for makeup.
So I'm going to take some of the Hyper Real serum from MAC. It has hyaluronic acid in it. It has niacinamide, which are great ingredients pre-makeup. Oh, this is the wrong one.
They are fixing on the wash it.
Huh? What happened?
Oh, they're fixing
in the wash and dryer.
Oh, that's
So
the
that
people.
might be what it is. I'm not sure.
Oh, I thought it was Diane.
This is a depuffing, refreshing eye cream. It's from my company. We no longer sell it anymore. I discontinued my entire line of products because I'm coming out with a whole new skincare company, so you won't be able to find it.
Exclusive.
Not really, because can't nobody get it now. So. Extinct.
Extinct.
And then I'm going to take some MAC Prep and Prime. This is the Radiance one. Just a little bit is going to go a long way. So this is what skin prep looks like. I'm going to take first my serum. So pay attention to the skin now, like feel your skin. There's no oils on it, but it's nice and soft and it's smooth. That's what a cleanser and a toner should do for makeup. It should just remove everything, make the skin soft, supple, and smooth. Now I'm going to apply serum. I'm starting at the center of the face, and then I'll work my way out. I'm going to take, on a smaller brush, my eye cream. This will depuff, soften lines. I also like to put this in the nasolabial folds. And anywhere where I see fine lines, I'm going to apply it there because it will also plump those areas up as well.
Do y'all mind if we cut the lights completely?
Yeah, I thought that would cut them both off, but it didn't. Now I'm going to take my primer, just very lightly in the center of the face. And then we'll work our way out on this good light. Okay. All right, so we're gonna let that absorb in for a second. In the meantime, between time, we can start to color match. So now you guys have liquid foundations. Where am I? You want to make sure you shape these very well. I can already tell she's between a 5 and a 7. Have you guys? No, you guys have it, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. All right, so. So, first things first, your Hydro Liquid Foundations. These formulas have an opaque finish, which means that they are full coverage. They're high in pigment. You can create a luminescent finish with this if you add oil to it. So like just 1 or 2 drops of oil into the foundation creates a radiant foundation. If you add moisturizer to it, it's going to give you a satin finish. So that's how you're going to work with these. If you use it alone, it's going to give you an ultra matte finish. So what the Hydro foundations do is they go into the skin absorbs the water from out of it and leaves the pigment behind. The cream foundations are the same. They have an opaque finish. You can scrape a very little amount. The same way you would mix these is the same way you would mix these to get that same result. These start off as a more cream waxy finish. These have candelia oil in it. Candelia oil, I can never say the word. Candelia oil in it, which makes them waterproof. okay? So these will not move or budge once they're on. The demo I did earlier, you probably can see it on my Instagram. I did her makeup in 28 minutes. She went to lunch, they went out somewhere, and she came back, it was still matte and exactly how it was when she left. Like, these products have a very strong, long-lasting longevity bite to them.
And this is what we get in our kit?
Yep, it's the liquids that you guys have. All right? Next thing you need to know, you're going to color match these by level and then undertone. So, level is either 1 through 11, right? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11 are the common global skin tones. So we have Fitzpatrick 1 through 6. These shades are those Fitzpatricks. So, once you find the level of a person, then you're going to find the undertone. So they're going to either be olive, which is a yellowish, red. That's our, most of the time, let's see, who's somebody I can call out there? It's olive. Rihanna has a very olive skin tone. You can tell she's yellow, but you see a lot of red around the outer perimeters. So that green tones down some of the red, but brings out the true tone of the yellow. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have ruby foundations, which are red foundations. Typically, deeper and fairer complexions are more red. Now, you guys only have these and these. You don't have the neutrals. But, let's say someone is level 1, but neutral. All I have to do is mix olive 1 and red 1, and I make neutral 1. So it's literally that simple. So what you need to do is, like, what's her level? What would you say her level is?
7.
It's like a level 7. So this is the Fitzpatrick or the shade level 7. You can compare that skin tone to Beyonce. That's the skin tone if you're looking for somebody that's in that tone. So 7. Now, if 7 doesn't work, if R7 doesn't work, I can mix the two and get N7. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's how you're going to do your color matching. I am literally going to take out, first we want to give them a shake. And I always give them a shake while they're in the packet because nobody wants to stand there and shake one by one. So I always just shake them all up at the same time. And the reason why you want to shake them is because there are oil, there's water, there's different things in here, and they will separate. So really every liquid foundation that you have, you should give it a shake before you use it. If you ever use the foundation and be like, why is off today? Because something is, you probably need to shake it.
So how do we use these without the airbrush? Because we don't have airbrushes.
You can use these traditionally with a brush. You can use them with an airbrush. You can use them with a sponge. So these are, okay, so I really wish y'all would have had the kit exploration. Actually, I recorded it. I'll upload that on YouTube too, so if you're interested, you can watch it. And I talk about everything that comes in your guys' kit. I talk about how they work, how to use it, the benefits of it. I give you the history of Esom, Ket, and Muse. It's just Rashad Terry Beauty. I'll give you the history of all of that. That way you know where these products are coming from. I give you the history of the owners. So I'll upload that today because I just recorded it in the huddle room. That way if you're interested, you can at least have that information. Thank you. So
what would be her undertone?
Oh, you have on YouTube right now.
what do we see here?
Her neck area?
Yep.
I would say yellow.
Yellow. So people are only going to be one of 3 colors. If you look at the primary colors, you got red, yellow, and blue, right? So they can only be in that spectrum. So blue and red are cool. Red can be warm or cool. Yellow is warm. Red can be warm or cool. So you break the color wheel down like that. They're either on this side, or they're right in the middle. So they're either going to be warm, which is yellow or red, or they're going to be cool, which is blue or red, or they're neutral, all three colors together make brown. So if you see all three colors in somebody, they're more than likely neutral. If you're like, most of the time, if you're not sure of what the color is, but you can identify what cool and warm tones look like, they're neutral. So for her, she is yellow. Now yellow can be gold, it can be yellow orange, it could be like a mustard color, it could be just pure yellow. She's golden.
Yeah.
So I know that this is olive. This is not gonna work for her on its own. So I know that I'm gonna have to warm this up a little bit to some degree. She is in fact an olive tone. She's yellow, but there's a little bit of an olive tone on the outer perimeters. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take 1 to 2 drops of this foundation on my palette. And then I'm gonna take 1 to 2 drops of this foundation on my palette. And I'm going to mix those two together.
I'm sorry, which ones did you choose?
Huh?
Which ones did you choose?
I chose 7 and R7. So I can see that this is still entirely too warm for her, right? This would be great there. Does that make sense? Like if I tap this in, that works perfectly on the outer perimeter of her face. So we know we're working in the right direction. Now let's do number 7 on its own and see what happens.
Oh my God.
Now this looks great, however, turn your face that way.
A little
You
dark.
can see it's getting darker.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not gonna work. So if we go up a level to 5, it's gonna be too light. So in this instance, what's her undertone?
Gold.
Gold with yellow. Yellow and gold. We're gonna take a little bit of yellow and put into that mixture that we made. So what ended up happening is she is more olive, but she still has a lot of red in her. So if we put just the olive, turn that way again, it's going to come out a little ashy. So you're seeing her color, but it's ashy.
She kind of has like a contour, natural contour
Right.
already. I can see that, and then like here, it has that same kind of color.
Yeah.
And then of course in the inner T-zone is like
It's like pure yellow.
yellow. Yeah.
So what that tells me is we need to add a little yellow to the neutral foundation. So most of the time when we do neutral tones, we flatten out everything. You ever seen somebody with a neutral foundation and their face just looks flat?
Mm-hmm.
How do you bring that color back when you flatten out? Remember the old school way? Anybody remember how the old school makeup artists used to just flatten everything out and then bring the color back with highlight and contour?
Yeah.
So that's ultimately what you're doing if someone is neutral. So this color is correct. It just does not look flattering on her right now because we gotta add some vibrancy to the center of the face. Does that make sense? So,
I feel like that's kind of like what everyone does though.
yep.
Because there's nobody that's like one specific color due to sun exposure and habits, skin habits and stuff.
So can we see the yellow tone now?
Yeah.
She needed more yellow. So I don't know if you guys went through color theory, but like I told you guys, primary colors. There's primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. You have undertone. Let's make this simple. Once you find someone's primary color, their undertone, we know that hers is golden yellow. That is the theme of everything that you're gonna do. So if I mix this color and I know that it's her level, and I know that I mixed it to be neutral, now I have to add her theme back to the color and it brings it back to exactly what it needs to be for her. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now let's color.
It does, it's just not registering, it's fancy scenery.
Can we see that? So we have this golden tone. So I'm gonna start to stipple this in right here. And can we see the match.
Yeah. Like it doesn't
Because
even
it
look
looks
like
like her
it's there.
skin.
Right.
Yeah.
When something disappears into the skin, it's right. If there's any slight chance that it's off, it's wrong. Okay? So now we've got her color. I'm getting old, y'all. Everything just be cracking. So now we're going to moisturize her skin with another discontinued product. I'll probably still produce them for my kids because they just work well with makeup.
Smooth.
We'll moisturize the center of the face. I'm going to start to pick up that foundation. Have you look up for me? Eyes up. Yep, head down, eyes up. Yep. Start to tap that in. And in the center of the face.
So since you applied right after moisturizer, it's
Mhm.
gonna give that like satin
Yep.
finish you said?
So you can see like it looks like her skin, but it's almost like a tinted moisturizer, how it gives you like that skin but better. That's the kind of effect that we're going. So now I'm gonna take the one that I did not mix with the undertone and apply that to the outer perimeter. My goal is always I want this to match this, and I want this to match this. When you do that, you will always have perfect complexion, no matter where they are, flash, red carpet, lighting, film, it will always match. Because I'm making sure that her face looks like her body. You'll see that I barely put anything on the neck too. You won't have to put anything on the neck when you make the face match the body. The neck is such a small area that when you look at it from a grand picture, you can't even tell that there's nothing there. And the reason I do that is because a lot of times people have things on their neckline. For example, like a, what do you call it? My God.
Shimmer?
Derma?
Like collars and dresses and things. And they don't want makeup on that.
Right.
So I like to, if possible, leave the neck free. I will put some on the sternocleidomastoid just because I want to tie that color in, but other than that, I try and leave it as free as possible. Turn to the right. Yep. And to mix more foundation to finish off the rest of her face. And then we'll start to conceal. Notice I'm not using a lot. The first amount was like two to three drops. I just did 2 more drops. This stuff is so pigmented, it goes a long way.
How long have you been doing makeup?
17 years. It's been a long journey.
You don't went through all of the evolution of makeup,
Yeah.
cause it used to be so different.
Yeah, sometimes I still to this day struggle with trying to go back to my old school way.
Yeah.
But, turn that way for me. You kind of learn to adjust and adapt.
So do you have experience with different makeup brands?
Yep, so I've worked for Laura Mercier, Makeup Forever, MAC, Inglot, Too Faced, Stila Cosmetics, Anastasia,
Everybody's favorite. I like Lacoste.
Who else?
Lame.
I work for Yves Saint Laurent, Givenchy, Armani. I work for Dior currently now. I've worked for a lot of makeup companies.
How do you feel about Laura Mercier's foundation?
I love.
Yeah.
So she
Oh
wasn't
my God.
because I work at Sephora.
That
and she's
radiant
talking to me
glow,
today. Yeah.
the one with the gold top.
Yeah. I was like, is she overselling it or is it really
No.
worth the hype?
No,
I'm oily
it's
skin.
really underpriced.
Underpriced.
I am oily is a cast iron pan that you just greased and seasoned. That foundation is a radiant foundation, but it somehow does not make me look greasy. Most of the days when y'all see me come here, I don't have on makeup today. But most of the days y'all see me coming here, I have on makeup, and it's Laura Mercier or El Maquillage.
Because the other day when she asked you, did you have on makeup or something, it looked so natural though.
Yeah,
That was the other thing.
most of the time it's Laura Mercier or El Maquillage.
Okay. So I'm gonna get her foundation.
Like you have that now?
Laura Mercier.
It's my fave. Miss Laura. But see, this is the thing. You want to make sure that when you're buying makeup and you're really investing in your makeup, you're buying something from someone who it's their craft. Because somebody who's done, Laura Mercier has been a makeup artist for over 2 decades. But somebody who has been doing makeup that long, they know what makeup needs to be. It's the same thing with skincare. Like, you will never catch me with some of these celebrity skincare because they don't do skin. That's not your profession, sweetheart. I know you went and you either hired somebody to put your name on it. So I know that I'm not going to get the expectations of what it needs to be unless you have somebody like myself, like an esthetician inside of your boardroom helping create this. And most of the time they don't. It's just a money plot for them.
And that's why I liked, that's what sold me when she told me that she's a esthetician and she does makeup. So
Yeah.
she like puts both into her makeup line. Yeah.
If you want that skin-like finish, you get you some Laura.
Yeah.
She don't play. All right, so we've got this stunning complexion going on here. And you can see we just kind of added some warmth to the outer perimeters. We added the actual skin tone right around the mouth area. You can see that there is still a little bit of hyperpigmentation showing around the mouth. Yeah? Notice I did not correct. These products are full pigmented. So if I need to necessarily correct, what I personally choose to do is do it afterwards.
Like at the end.
No,
Oh,
before
like
I
after
start to set, when I highlight and contour, I'll tackle that. Because these products are so pigmented, most of the time I've discovered that once I put the foundation on, I don't even need to correct because the coverage is there. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to take a little bit of concealer that is her color. Can we see this? Oh, we can even go, let's go, what's this? 45. Yeah, 50 is too dark. I'm gonna go NC45.
I have a question.
Yep.
So why, when people are doing, like, after they do the foundation, they do the contour, not contour, but the concealer, why is it so light? Like, I be seeing girls, like, on IG, they go light.
Because you just gave me the key word. What is it? No shade, but shade. So when you're following, I am all for Instagram and all of that, like, because I be on there. Like, y'all see, I be on, but when you're following people, choose the professional. Choose the companies. There's so many makeup companies out here that go live every single day. And they have pro makeup artists that they hire to do that, to teach you how to use these products. Follow those people, because then you'll be doing makeup that's going to be according to, one, the industry standard, and then two, you won't have so much unlearning to do. Because sometimes, and I'm not saying, because there's an area for everybody in this industry. Like, people that like completely just slander influencers and things, I don't think that's a good idea, because there's a space for them. Like, they making more money than me. So there's obviously a space for it. But in the same token, you have to be choosy of what information you're taking from it. So I'm taking this is NC 45, and we're just right around, it's an orangey concealer, even though it's her skin tone, it's still an orangey concealer. Can we see how that kind of just cancels out some of that discoloration around the mouth?
Like so much gold. Okay.
Yep. Same thing over here. And notice I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to get this on and keep it moving. Like they were flabbergasted at the fact that I finished that girl's makeup in 28 minutes earlier. Like I'm talking about full face. So the reason why I'm able to finish it so quick is because notice I'm not trying to be perfect. I will perfect it once it's on. Look up for me. Eyes up. Yep. I'm gonna take this and run this underneath the eyes. I'm using a fluffy brush because I want this to be more airbrushed.
Oh, I'll take it.
Y'all said full glam. I'm sorry, didn't y'all? So I need to do a little more than this. Yeah, almost had me. I was in
Some glam.
I was in the Neutrogena mind. So we're gonna turn that switch off and we're gonna turn this other one on.
Turn it up in that.
I'm gonna take a full coverage concealer. Okay?
You're going with her shade or a shade lighter?
About a shade lighter than her. And I am going to take a synthetic flat brush. Put that for me. Right down the side of the nose, and I'm gonna pull it out. Right down the side of the nose and pull it out. Okay? Put a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit on the forehead. We're gonna run that on the brow, and then I'm gonna bring this up over the arch of the brow. So I wanna lift the face just a bit. So by bringing that product around and over the brow, we add more real estate and we lift a little bit more.
Yeah, this
Contour.
is such a difference already. So why do you have to use? I use a flat brush too, but I just don't know why I use it. I just use it because it just
So
applies
you
to
use a flat brush if you intend, well, it's really not necessarily that it's flat, it's the type of hair fibers. that you
Yeah,
use.
it's like
Synthetic.
soft. Okay, synthetic.
So I'm using a synthetic brush because they leave behind more product than a natural hair brush.
Okay.
Notice I was using this at first and it was giving her real like just soft skin. Natural hair brushes will give you more of an airbrush, next to nothing effect, where a synthetic brush, you notice it left everything behind.
Right, okay.
Now I'm taking my brush and I'm stippling and patting because I want to blend this out. I want to make sure that I blend it out before it sets, because if it sets, that's how you get lines of demarcation and we don't want that. There we go, we're getting a little full glammy now. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she's awake now.
All right. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now what we're gonna do is contour. I'm gonna take actually, number 11 from the Cat Foundation. It's gonna be a great contour for her. Scrape a little out. I'm gonna pick it right up on my brush. Notice I'm using the same brush for pretty much everything. And we're gonna start to stipple. Stipple this in. Yep, so here's the thing, a stick is a cream foundation, so it's no different than this. The only difference is this is in a pan. What I don't like to do with sticks is put the stick directly on and put it on because you end up putting too much on. I would still pick that product up from the stick and then put it on with a brush or a sponge or something. Turn it on for me.
So the makeup by Mario sticks.
Those are great.
Okay. Cause I was about to say I'll be putting the whole stick on my face.
I heard about this contour, the dark contour from Too Faced, but it was like, I don't know. I mean, it was the right color for me, but like, I guess because it's liquidy. So what's the difference, or when would you use liquid contour versus?
What was it? It was Too Faced?
Yeah.
They sell liquid contours?
Mm-hmm.
It's like in a bottle, like a.
It's like, yeah, there's like a twist one. It was a dark one.
I've never seen that. But it's
But
no
it could have been. I mean, could it have been a concealer?
It probably was a concealer. Did it have a doe foot on it?
What is a doe foot?
Like a
Yeah,
reference
that it had.
So
that.
that's a concealer.
Okay.
But you can use concealers to contour too.
Okay.
What I want you guys to think about, anything that you use is correct. If it's for complexion, you can do whatever you want to do with it. Like I can highlight, contour, use it as a foundation. Like sometimes I would take the matte concealers and use it as a foundation. So you can do whatever you want. It's just you have to know how to manipulate the specific texture of that product. So if it's like a liquid, I'm probably gonna use a brush like this or a sponge, and I'm gonna gently apply it, and I'm gonna build up to it instead of just going in directly and putting it all on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like how I just use this, look straight for me, and I'm kind of building. I'm not necessarily adding it directly to the skin because you wanna make sure that you can control the results.
Yeah.
Nose contour. We're gonna take a small detailed brush. This is the B27, look at me. And what I'm going to, oh actually look at the camera because I need this to move so that you can see it in the camera. Right up the bridge of the nose. As I get to the tip of the nose, I'm going in closer. So I'm thinking of making a V as we get towards the tip of the nose. Then I'm going to take some more highlight. Just grab this since it's right here. Right next to that, I'm going to pull down and add some highlight. So what that did is it created a dramatic contrast. Now I'm going to take my foundation brush and we're going to just pull the concealer and the contour up towards the tip of the nose and it'll create a shadow. So you don't want to pull out because what that does is it widens the nose back and that defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do.
How do you determine what type of nose contour you want to do for the client?
You look at their nose. Most of the time, if they have a little button nose, like majority of us in here have like little button noses. So, yeah, everybody in here for the most part, we have like little button noses. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That is the one that you want to do a V on. If someone like, let's say, their nose is symmetrically perfect, I'm either not going to contour it, or either I'm not going to do that V unless they want their nose smaller. So if I'm generalizing it, a V will make it smaller. Straight lines will make it smaller without changing the enhancement of the shape. Yeah. Look up for me. Now, so settling in her fine lines is a little concealer. I like to use the back of my brush and roll. It'll take the excess away without removing or disturbing all of the concealer. All right, look straight for me. If I step on that box one more time, drop your chin. Okay. All right. Now, get ready to set.
So where would bronzer come into play? Like, do you have to put that on top of your contour?
You
I
can.
asked the social media, like, I've been seeing people use bronzer on top of contour, and like, why do you do both?
So contour is cool, which is meant to contour the bone structure. Bronzer adds the warmth that we naturally get from being in the sun. So they go hand in hand. There is a video on my Instagram. It says Contour 101, and it will explain like what that bone structure is and where the placement is. So once you like between that and what I just told you, it'll like connect the dots for you.
Okay.
So now we're ready to set. I'm gonna take a little bit of translucent powder. And I'm gonna take a little bit of banana powder. And that's what we're gonna utilize to set. Where is my powder? Take a powder puff. And I'm going to also take a large fluff brush. I believe it's the V49 from Esom. I'm going to take that translucent powder, work it in to my brush. And I'm going to tap so that I don't disturb the foundation.
Difference between a pressed and a loose powder.
So it depends on, so a loose powder is simply just that, it's loose. Loose powders tend to sometimes give you a little bit more setting effects because it's loose. It can kind of get into, pressed because they're compact, they tend to, you pick up less. Now, there is a difference between foundation powders and translucent powders. And most of the time when people ask that question, they don't realize that. So, foundation powder is simply that. It's a foundation. It has pigment, it has coverage, but you can put it on as a powder. So those are powders that you can use on bare skin, moisturized skin, and they will give you the desired results that you want as far as like this. Like I can use a foundation powder on moisturized skin and get this result. A translucent powder is what I just used. It's a colorless powder. And I want you to think of it as, you see how you can see this foundation through here? It sets it in place, but it does not change the color or alter anything. That's what a translucent powder does. But something like a foundation powder, like the MAC Studio Fix powders, they have color, coverage, and they build texture. So those can be used alone or they can be used with foundation. And I'm being very generous on the outer perimeter of the face with my powder. Because we said we wanted full glam. So I have to be a little more generous, but you can see. Oh, I hate this box sitting right here. You can see it just really makes it. It still looks like skin in a camera. That is the Ket translucent powder. It's Ultra HD powder. So those foundations and those powders will translate to like looking at her in the right here in her eyes, we can see she has on makeup. But looking at it in the screen, it looks like her skin. So that is the magic of HD makeup. That's why we use it. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of the banana powder on a powder puff. I'm going to fold it like a taco and work it in. And we're gonna set the center of the face. Because we want full coverage. And I'm gonna let a little bit just kind of sit there. Now before I set the under eye, look up. I wanna go in one last time to make sure there are no fine lines. Because how I set it is how it will look. Same thing with the smile line. Remove as much product as possible. Stretch your mouth down. So you're gonna. Yep, look up. So I'm having her stretch so that when I set, I'm setting on stretched skin so the powder can get into anything that may crease. And what that does is it gives us the ability to have a smooth texture. Okay, relax. Can we see how smooth the texture is? Stretch the skin before you set it.
That's still banana powder.
Yep, this is banana.
I always do banana.
Okay.
I always get the fine lines under my eyes.
These techniques that I'm giving you, dummy proofs that you do not have fine lines. Stretch, look up.
Have you ever used the Givenchy, the Prisme Libre powders?
The prism
Yeah.
powders, yeah.
How do you like? What is the?
So it's color theory. Ultimately, you use it on. You can use them separate. Like if someone has a lot of redness, you use the green one to set. It neutralizes the redness, but it doesn't alter the foundation. And if you use the orange one, it's going to do the same thing for hyperpigmentation. The yellow one is going to add vibrancy. If you use them all together, it just corrects generally whatever the issue is.
When I saw the girl do it online, I was like, it looked watering, but maybe it just wasn't shaking up or something.
So the color of hyperpigmentation, would
So he
you
was saying add
would you color correct and then put your foundation on?
To cover up hyperpigmentation, yes, you would correct first and then use your foundation.
You get it. Oh, I thought you would have used it at home.
Oh no.
Y'all gonna lunch at 7:30, right? Yeah. Okay. Making sure I'm on the right time. All right, so let's bronze her up. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. So we're gonna take a little bit of these three bronzers because these are the three tones that show up in her skin. Can we see this in the center? This here, we can see that reddish tone. So we're gonna take all of them and create her bronzer. I'm gonna stipple this into the forehead. Notice a lot of stuff I'm not buffing. Buffing shears the product out. We want to leave the product behind because you guys said you wanted full coverage. You wanted full glam. So if I am trying to give her a full glam finish, I want to leave everything behind. I don't want to leave anything undone. You can, yeah, you
Oh, I'm
can-
sorry.
Just turn, just work with me. On the cheek, a little bit on the chin. Same thing. Then again, down the sides of the sternocleidomastoids. Little blush. Same brush. Notice I don't use a lot of brushes. It's all been on the face anyway. So why are we switching a brush for this, a brush for that, a brush for this? I don't like washing brushes. I just have a lot of brushes just in case I have a lot of clients. I mix all colors. So what were some of the colors that we seen in her? Red, we seen yellow, right? Corals are gonna pull from yellow. The pinks are gonna pull from red. So if you want a color to look as natural as possible on somebody, just grab all the colors.
I be like trying to figure out which one do I want to use today. Like, yeah.
Everybody get this whole
Because
palette.
I'm always so unhappy with it.
So, a lot of people put the blush here. Flip your brush once. That's where your blush actually should go. If I'm putting the blush right here on the apple of the cheek, what I'm doing is I'm dragging the cheek down.
Yeah.
The whole point of blush is to give a more youthful, lifted finish. So, we're going over the rainbow. Yeah? So, it kind of touches here, but the main part of the blush is not there. It's actually here.
Why do people guys do the fish face?
Old school. If
Okay.
you want to look like Whitney from the 80s, do the fish face. Nothing's wrong with Whitney from the 80s.
Yeah.
But it's 2024.
Yeah.
Unless I'm doing a timepiece, I'm not moving with those
Yeah.
those traditional makeup methods. I'm gonna add a little bit into the forehead, chin, nose. Look in the camera, can we? I'm stepping on everything. Can we see how it just looks like her skin? Everything is
Yeah.
just falling together.
Yeah.
When you're doing makeup, the goal is to make it look like a wash of color. If you can make it look like a wash of color, you can master a look that nobody can achieve. Does that make sense? How many makeup artists do we get on Instagram and we can see everything?
Everybody.
The reason why somebody say, well, yeah, I'll pay $250 is because if they go anywhere else, they can get a cheaper makeup artist, but they can't get this hand. Does that make sense? So that's why I do technique the way that I do it, is because the whole goal is to make sure that I'm the only one that can duplicate what I do. Yeah? Yeah, I got your hair all over the place, child. What do we want to do next? We're going to take a little bit of this yellow powder here. This is face powder. Look up. Right here in the inner corners. We're going to brighten. I'm also going to put a little bit on the eyelid just to get any oils so that we can stop eyes. All right, full glam. Eyes. What do you guys want to see for eyes?
Let's go
I want to
with
do
season.
smoke. Oh, yeah,
I
the
would
season.
say,
Okay,
yeah,
season.
Season.
Yeah.
Let's
Season,
go with
what
season, like
season?
an orange, brown,
Fall.
fall.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
color.
fall.
Gold.
Monochrome brown would be super cute. Like a
Yeah.
Lori Harvey.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, don't say that name.
You must have did her makeup.
No,
Oh.
she stole my company name.
Oh, she's the.
Just Google Rashad Terry and Lori Harvey and you'll see the whole mess. I probably shouldn't be saying that on my but it is what
She
it
better
is.
not.
It is what it is.
Ooh.
Okay.
So, Mr. Rashad, do you do brows after?
Last.
Okay.
So my logic is brows frame the face. When I take this picture and print it with the frame on it, if I did that, what would happen? Let's say the clear seal is not on it, and I could actually put that in the printer.
It's going to overlay.
It's gonna get on the frame.
Yeah.
That is why so many people that do brows and eyes first, they have to go back and touch the eyes up.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, why did you do that? And the complexion's even not even done.
I literally see that often.
Yeah. The only time I do the eyes first is if I'm doing like a black editorial smoky eye. Because that black is bound to get everywhere.
Yeah.
And I need to clean up. Other than that, I'm going to do this first. Another thing is, there's been quite a few celebrities that I have worked on that said, oh, you got an hour and 30 minutes, and then their manager or the producer comes in and is like, you got 15 minutes.
So you start on the difficult stuff.
So I do complexion first, because guess what? Let's say they told me she had 15 minutes. And I was just finished with this. I could easily do her brow, pop on a lash, put one eyeshadow on, give her a lip gloss, say, girl, rub that on your lip on the way out to the sound stage. She's gonna look down.
Yeah.
But if I was working on eyes for 15, 20 minutes, and they said I got 15 minutes, now I got
Contour, all kinds.
I gotta do all the, I gotta build her face.
Yeah.
She ain't gonna look too good. She gonna look flat.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to choose what's the most important part if in the event something happens. And it's always gonna be complexion.
Mm-hmm.
There's been plenty of times where I did nothing to somebody's brows because they had perfect brows. And I just put on a lash and I gave them a clear gloss on the lip, like a lip oil.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, oh my God, this looks so good. And all you did was complexion.
I love a good lip oil too.
So, let's do. I'm getting old, y'all.
A halo.
Everything cracking. A halo?
Halo.
Okay, we can do that. So I'm gonna start. This is where most of the color is in the center. Close. I'm gonna start with a black pencil. And I'm going to smudge this in. And then I'm going to take a pencil brush. And we're going to blend this out. And I'm taking that black and we're smudging it and bringing it into the crease. Then I'm going to take some more black and we're going to put it in the inner corner of the eye. And we're going to do the same thing and meet in the middle.
What would you recommend for hooded eyes?
Keeping all of the color at the lash line.
I never do eyeshadow because I don't know what I'm doing. I just be like, nah, fuck it.
So a halo eye is where it looks like there's a halo of light in the center. So what I always do when there's an intentional eye, I start with pencil or something that's creamy, create the shape, create what I'm doing, and I put the eyeshadow over it.
Yeah.
You never go wrong as long as you have the shape in place. Okay, so we've got a shape. Notice that shape also turned her eye shape into an almond eye. So what I'm doing is I'm manipulating what we see to get the results that I need. Next, I'm going to pick up a little bit of a gold shimmer. Close. Stretch the skin. I'm going to tap this right in the center. All right. Now I'm going to take another brush and I'm going to take, yeah,
Snap, crackle, and pop.
I should probably be showing y'all the eyeshadows. I'm taking this warm brown. And we're basically setting the black. All right. Ah, this is gold. Clean that up. Now, let's just take a neutral brown. Right over this black to set it a little bit more. Tone down the black and bring more of the brown tones in. Lower lash line. I'm gonna take a little bit of that same brick orange, mix it with a little bit of a deep brown. Look up for me. And we're smudging that underneath. Look straight. Okay.
I definitely feel like I can see the brown in her eyes a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Like my apple.
Mm-hmm.
This is just black. And all we're doing is layering and redefining the shape so that we don't lose it in the process of all the shadows that we added on. We see that? Drop your chin just a little bit. Yep. Like, look at the camera. Look down. No, eyes down.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, Ross. Mascara first. All right, so your mascara is not only a mascara, it is also a liner.
A what?
A liner. So your Eason mascara is waterproof, it is smudge proof, it is flake free, and it is also carbon black matte. So it dries down like that, it will not flake off the eyes, but you can also use it as a liner. It will dry down just like any gel or liquid liner. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take a little bit of my mascara and I'm going to roll it on a palette. Yeah, I believe majority of this, like with the exception of just the concealer, everything is Eason. So the next time I hear somebody say, "Oh, it doesn't work," show me that it don't work, because she looks great.
You can't see.
You look great, girl.
Yeah, you look good.
Yeah, it's a little pustule. I am going to paint the mascara on first. This is the T11, another one of my favorite brushes. It's a mascara brush. Look down at your knee. I'm gonna lift up, place my finger on my work, and we're going to paint. So the mascara is actually getting on my finger and not on the eyes. That was a student or a client? Oh.
It's too much.
It was a guy that just came
Oh,
and said
this
it.
is
Oh,
Oh, I didn't know who it was. I was just like, okay. Okay, liner. Take it on my liner brush like so. Close. Look down. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I was
love it when people look up as soon as you're done with the liner like it's dry. Oh. Relax your eyes. Stay closed. Do a little mascara on the lower lash line. Get straight. Straight. Yeah. Straight. Straight. Notice I was directing her where to look. If you have the client looking directly at the brush, they're going to blink. But if they're looking away, they're not going to blink as much. So always direct them on which direction they should be looking. Let's do these brows.
You got no lashes.
Not you want lashes.
You can't be full wedding.
I guess I'll put some lashes on. I've been trying to save my lashes for paying clients.
Look, she said she paid. We pay this tuition.
Ain't got nothing to do with my kid.
Okay.
I could do some lashes. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna comb the brows up. This allows me to see the line. So I depotted it, but this is the Eastern eyeshadows. These are great for brows as well. So looking at her brows, between these two colors is gonna be perfect. So whatever direction the hair is growing, that's the direction that I'm gonna feel the brow in. 1, comb through.
Who's that lady?
Mm.
Who's that lady?
So my liner, I had mentioned, they kind of come out as they're sisters but not twins.
Liner.
my
Wing?
wing liner. Any tips you could give?
So I'm gonna give you a trick.
Okay.
And the trick is always start your liner from the corner of where the eye creases. And you make your feline first. I'll actually do it. It won't hurt to do this.
You make them too long.
No. Just the brows.
I thought it was.
No, wing liner.
So take a little bit of my liner. The first thing I'm gonna do when I'm doing wing liner is start from where the eye opens. And I'm gonna create my wing. Close. Close. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Open. Close. As long as I'm starting from the corner of where the eye opens, they will always be exactly the same. So use that as your guideline. And notice how I started from the outside. I already did the inside, but if I was doing the inside, I'm always gonna make that wing first and then go back to the beginning.
So you're going to the inner
So
part.
I went here and made the wing first, right? You see that? Now, close. Now, once I've made that, now I go from the inside and connect it to the wing.
Yeah.
This is the part that is always gonna be uneven.
Yeah.
So make those first. But if you start from the corner where the eye opens, it'll never be incorrect.
Look at you, girl.
Okay, so we were on brows. Now, some people use powder. I mean, concealer, I don't. I use powder. Whatever powder I highlight it with, that's the powder I use on the brow bone. So I'm gonna raise at the arch. is just as effective. All right, lip. Since we go in fall, we'll do a little plum.
Plum.
Oh, hold on. Make sure you always sharpen before you put it on the client's lip. Even if you sharpened it before. The pencil fell somewhere, just knock it over. I don't want it to get on you.
I get on the floor.
I'm glad I was done lying.
No, I said her.
Alright, so now I like to blend my liner slightly, the edges, before I go in and add anything else. What we're going to add is her concealer to the center. And then right over there, we're going to put a gold gloss. But it's going to be like a prism gold gloss instead of just like a regular. Let's make it real fun. So like you can see it. This is actually Sephora collection. Do not sleep on Sephora collection. It's the same as Dior. Same company.
Stop it.
Made by LVMH.
Some good stuff in there.
If you notice, every time Sephora comes out with a new product, Dior has a new product. It's the same thing.
Oh,
And I used to work for them, so I know it's factual.
You just changed my life. I can't wait to go shopping now.
Oh my god.
The concealer we put on was Sephora collection, which is the same as the Dior Backstage concealer.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. I'm so excited.
Right, last but not least, I am going to take a little bit more of that orange, because y'all wanted it to be fall. Look straight ahead for me. I'm holding the back of my brush. Just softly, I'm letting the skin grab what it can. That's pretty. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The blush is lost in the sauce. Can we see that?
What's that
Her
blush?
skin has like took all the blush.
Yeah.
So we're gonna add some more blush.
I can't wait till you let your hair down.
So,
It's not.
That's super cute.
Right, I know who my makeup artist gonna be for my birthday.
I know.
I can tell you that the last time I've done ultra matte makeup like this. Like I've done full glam, but it ain't been matte like this. It looks great though. Drop your chin just a little bit and look in the camera. And turn from left to right. Just kind of slowly. And then look back at the camera. All right, great.
It brings out your
Eyes are
eyes.